I compiled most of this list from yesterday, so I got to think back my mindset from yesterday. But anyway, I think I remember most of what I had in mind. But anyway, I'm going to start off with my video from that rooftop in Tolleson, those big grain silos. Now, those are made out of fairly thick concrete. I think the predicate get wheat, when you grind it to a flour, sometimes large mass of it can become flammable or explosive. So that's when they're made out of hardened concrete, so that if they do have an explosion, it's contained within within those structures. And I actually took a wrong turn, went into those buildings, and was cruising around through that area, and I said, "Hey, this would make a very, very interesting video." And I could actually make 4 or 5 videos from different locations over there, because there's quite a number of buildings and warehouses and shipping docks and stuff in there. I found it interesting. I have no idea how many people of my viewers would find that interesting. If you've got some other places you think around here they think would be interesting, hey, let me know. Maybe we can go do a collab video or something. I think that's from there. Now for Lori, her YouTube channel is Nigella for me. Her video yesterday, she talked about these women that would go to the extremes to make themselves beautiful. Some women would get surgery, get Botox, get surgery. Some women would starve themselves to anorexia. And I'm trying to remember the exact phrase to tell about skeletons with skin draped over them. And thanks, Lori, for that image, because that image, anorexic chicks with, that are walking skeletons is kind of stick in my brain for a while. I don't know too many women that starve themselves to anorexia. They'll probably skip a meal here or there. They'll probably they're probably a little bit more careful in how they eat. They don't starve themselves to anorexia, but they're a little more careful in how they eat. There's like quite a few women I'm thinking of. Not a lady, but Michael Jackson, that had all those surgeries, and that guy just looked terrible. He looked white as a ghost, and he had parts fall. I think his nose was falling off of him or something. He just had so many surgeries that then he, what was that one drug he was on? Doctor had prescribed it, and the doctor went to jail for giving him that drug. That drug actually killed him. Don't remember what it was, but he got addicted to it. But anyway, thankfully for the image of skeletons with skin draped over them. I'm gonna get to my pickup here later. Now, this is the 2027 cars. I've covered this once before, and I thought it went back to about 2021, but apparently it starts in the 2027 year. They've got cameras in there that have AI programming, little computer in there that can actually look at your eyes and tell if you're sober. That can tell if you're paying attention. Now, there was one lady here on YouTube, I guess the cars in Europe had started in the 2026 year. She had rented a brand new car over in Europe somewhere. She was fixing to get on the freeway, and the car started shutting down. And she's going, "What the hell?" It just sit there, wouldn't go anywhere. And finally, she saw on the dashboard, it flashed across the screen, "We can't see your eyes." So the cameras, she was a fairly small lady. She had gone down in the seat where the camera couldn't focus on her eyes. The camera had to see her eyes to see if she was paying attention to the road, if she was sober. And supposedly there are audio systems on there that will, if you got somebody else in the car, that will pay attention to conversation, in the car. And then, like, if you're talking about robbing a bank, if you're talking about holding some mass riot somewhere, the AI software will recognize that and will shut the car down. Won't let you go to the bank robbery. Won't let you attend the riot. I don't know if it's true or not, but it's going to make a lot of people hesitant about buying a 2027 car, because they just don't want that software in there. There's probably going to be people that figure out ways of bypassing all that. Probably guys will say, "Well, like, for $200, I'll go in there, I'll reprogram your car so that's all out of there." There's probably some computer techs that will program around that. Once the car is out of warranty, you wouldn't want to do it while it's still under warranty and brand new. Otherwise, it would void the warranties. I'll get to the ghost here a little bit. Jay Lindo's latest video for his it's 60 something Pontiac two by two. I took I think I had a 4-speed in there. He took that out. He put him a 6-speed in there. It's kind of cool the way he did it. Now I had a little Toyota where I'd put a 5. I don't know if it came with it or I'd put a 5-speed in there because it's been many years and I don't remember exactly what. I did quite a bit with it. But anyway, I'd been went through about 2 or 3 engines on a little Toyota pickup. I kept tearing them up because I'm treating it like a bigger pickup. They're pretty stout, but they're not bulletproof. You can wreck them if you're abusive to them. But anyway, thinking that 6-speed he put on there. Now, if you're gonna race it, yeah, I understand that. Now you can get on the freeway with you can get a freeway with a 4-speed. But if you got a 5-speed, you get a little bit better gas mileage. You can do 65 on the freeway all day long. Maybe doing 2,000, 3,000 RPM on the engine. You only want a 6-speed if you got to race the thing. I don't know. That's my opinion, though. Now for Ghost, I've covered this a number of times that I've had Ghost hide stuff, and I've asked the Ghost. Well, in my pickup, I had about $500-600 I'd kept in cash. I don't have that currently, but this has been about 3 years ago. I had about $500-600 in cash I'd put in an envelope, and it disappeared. Well, I thought somebody stole it. I thought I'd misplaced it. I looked for about 2 months and I couldn't find it. So I asked the Ghost. I said, "Look, did you hide your money? I'd really appreciate it if you'd return it." Now, short time later, I found it sitting on top of where I'd spent 2 months looking for this money. So I'm sure the Ghost had hid my money and then returned it after I had asked for it. But there was a YouTube video. I think it was a Don't Scare Claire, If You're After Dark, Haley Reese. It was one of those. Because there's 4 or 5 of those have very, very, very similar themes. But anyway, you can find them here on YouTube. They're very, very interesting, very, very cool videos. But, they would tell about this lady. She was, airman in the Air Force, but she had, off duty. Her and about 20 other people had visited, an abandoned Air Force installation. I don't. It's somewhere here in the U.S. But anyway, it was abandoned. Off duty. They like to do that. Like to go through these bases, just see what was left. It's apparently a pretty popular pastime with, not only soldiers from, the surrounding areas, but just the public in general like to visit these bases just to go through there. But anyway, this lady had just been recently married, and she'd visited this abandoned Air Force installation, and somehow her new wedding rings had disappeared, and she became quite distraught, and this place would be reported to be haunted. Anyway, she she got weeping, appealing to the Ghost. Said, "Look, if you took my wedding rings, I would really appreciate them back." And a short time later, I don't know if they reappeared on her finger or if she just found the wedding ring. So I don't know, but she was sure that the Ghost had stolen her wedding rings and had returned them. Now the Ghost, supposedly, when this base was being constructed, the daughter of one of the people that was building it had got too close to the edge of a basement they were digging and had fallen in and got killed. Supposedly it was a ghost of this little girl that had haunted the place, and supposedly this little girl was a ghost that had taken this lady's wedding rings. Just an interesting story. Like I said, it's on YouTube, so take it with a grain of salt. Not everything on the internet is true, and I've certainly told a few stories here just for entertainment value. I've told more than my share, and if somebody challenges me if someone asks me, I'll say, well, this is true, and this is something I made up just to be interesting. I said again, I try to keep things interesting, and like I said, if anybody asks me, I'll level with you. I'll tell you what's true and what's not. My pickup, it's running, but it doesn't shift all the way through, and I've got to do some more work on it. So I've spent the next few days, getting a few jobs out of the way. The couple people that I'm going to call today and see if they still need me, because it's been a couple weeks since they called me. It was little piddly stuff, and they may have made other plans. I don't know. But if they do, I'll go take care of a few things. I'll probably make some videos after I've done these jobs. I never, very rarely, make a video from one of my customers because I don't want any personal information getting out. I don't want them mad at me for getting their name or anything personal that could draw any adverse, any unwanted attention to them. It's not like that would happen anyway. I've done stuff from rooftops, and I figure rooftops are public domain or something like that. But anyway, so my pickup won't shift past second gear. But I think it's down to valve body. So once I pull it back apart, I'm going to have another valve body completely rebuilt. Now I'm going to rebuild one very, very carefully, make sure it's good, put it back on there, make sure all the solenoids are good. I can check them out with my ohmmeter, make sure that they're still good, make sure they're all clean and stuff. And then switch valve bodies at the same time. I'm going to do some other internal stuff. Again, I'm not a transmission guy. I'm just doing it out of desperation, doing it because, I didn't have the money to spend on another transmission. Plus the fact I already had 3 other complete transmissions with various issues and kind of playing musical transmission parts, and I put something back together that now I found on Amazon, most of the parts are there. You can buy the kits with the gaskets. You can buy kits that have all just the friction, the clutch friction plates. I can get because I think on my steel, I can get a good set of steel plates out of my stack of used parts and rebuild for what should be a good, not new, but pretty good transmission. I'll probably I need to make some type of spring compressor to do some of my pistons, on the clutch assemblies. I did that on a Chrysler 727, but I had borrowed another guy that same thing he did transmission on the side. I rebuilt one, Chrysler 727. I had it in my Dodge pickup, and that one, well, the transmission still worked when I parked it. I don't know if this lady told me she had to get it out of where it was at. It had been sitting there for about 12 years, so I don't know if it's still there or not. I don't know. She may have moved it. I haven't talked to her in about a month. She asked me to move it. She said it was in her waist, but I need to get back with her and see if it's still there. I think she watches my video. So chick, if you had to move my pickup, I'm not mad at you or anything like that. If you had to move it, you had to move it. Nothing that I can do about it. Like I said, I'm not mad at you over it because it sits there for 12 years and I didn't do anything with it. Let's see. Oh, on the 2027 cars. Now, there's also something called flock cameras. Now, supposedly, a lot of the major U.S. cities have these cameras that are around that can watch you. Now, I don't know how I feel on this. Now, I remember when I was in high school, I took the science literature class. Back then, everybody read books. Anyway, for the class, I read the book 1984. How many of my viewers have read the book 1984? Now, in the book 1984, the government has put cameras all over the place where they're watching people. This one guy, all he does is generate propaganda. All the government's pretty much good for is just generating propaganda. Let me clear this. Hang on one second. Okay. Like I said, in the book 1984, all the government is good for is generating propaganda. What the truth is, nobody knows. And I'm thinking of the times we got now. Hey, George Orwell was one smart dude. He kind of pegged it. I think the day was off a bit. We can call it 2026 instead of 1984. Of course, we've been kind of progressing up to this where the government, it's not just the U.S., all the world governments are doing it. All the world governments are watching people. China's real bad about watching people. Russia's real bad about watching people. Step out of line and they'll deal with you. And I'm a red blood American. I believe in American freedom, and we're losing it. We're losing our freedoms. Got to take a whole bunch of people to stand up to us losing our. I'm not a revolutionary. This is not my Or maybe I am, I don't know. Hey, my fellow red blood Americans, how do you feel about losing your freedoms to flat cameras and AI software and new cars that if you're not paying attention to the road, the car shuts down and it won't go anywhere. If you're drunk, if you're talking about attending a protest rally somewhere where you protest the government, your car won't drive you there. How do you feel about that? I'm going to dedicate a video just to that. Let's stay spooky. Let's stay interesting. Das Leben ist nicht einfach. Das Leben ist ein Abenteuer and c'est la vie. Ciao. Vaya con Dios and mahalo.